Hello ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host Brett Murphy, and for today's video I have a brand new top 10 for you all. And I am going to be going over my top 10 most anticipated movies for the rest of 2022. So we've reached roughly the halfway point of 2022. Actually, it might have been a month or so ago, but I was too busy covering other content. However, we have reached the beginning of August, so no major August releases have dropped just yet, at least as of the recording of this video. So I figured with 5 months left in the year, I may as well reveal to you all what movies I'm most looking forward to. Before I hop into the actual top 10 itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my top 10 videos. So be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so, without further ado, let's hop right into things. Of course, as always with me and top 10s, I like to cheat a little bit and include some honorable mentions, and this time is no different. And those honorable mentions are Netflix's Blonde, the Marilyn Monroe story, Weird, the Al Yankovic story, and Disney's upcoming animated feature, Strange World. And now, number 10, Pearl. Truth be told, I am actually a huge fan of X, which just released earlier this year. It's kind of crazy what a quick turnaround we had between this film and its sequel/prequel. But yeah, I personally loved X. It's actually one of my favorite movies of the year as of this point. I like how it really recaptured that magic of 70s slashers. I thought we had some interesting characters, some very, very violent kills, but also some laughs and some very intriguing directions and a great location. And now this is the prequel to that story. I was really unsure how to feel about this one when it was first announced, but now that we have the trailer and I can see that Mia Goth is going all in, as well as director Ty West, that quickly washed away any doubts or any concerns I had. Seeing the world through Pearl's eyes is definitely going to be a step in a very different direction than what we got in X, but that makes me even more excited. Not to mention, it looks extremely violent, and if you're going to a slasher, well, that's exactly what you want. Number 9, Prey. I am a massive fan of the Predator franchise. Well, kind of. I like half the movies, the first one and Predators. And this one is Predators, but done in a whole different way. We've had Predators in the jungle, we've had Predators in the city, we've had Predators on their own home world, and then we had whatever the Predator was. And now we have a Predator way, way, way back in time. Not to mention it's done by the same director who did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is probably one of the best suspenseful mystery sci-fi films of the last decade. And going back to like bows and arrows and kind of tribal warfare and things like that, I think is going to make for an incredibly interesting setting and a whole new approach to these creatures and this film franchise. It comes out this Friday, and so far initial reactions have been overwhelmingly positive, so I simply cannot wait. Number 8, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam is easily among the best that the DCEU has to offer, although I personally don't love it as much as other people seem to, and I will address exactly why when discussing why I'm excited for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. From what we've gotten so far, which is only one trailer, it looks like it's going to bring back everything that everyone, myself included, loved about the first movie, and that is the comedic elements and the family dynamic. It looks like we're getting a whole bunch more of that. But what it looks like the second movie is going to bring to the table that the first one was lacking is in the action department, because you cannot deny that the action in the first Shazam movie was totally and completely underwhelming, and second, being a good villain. I love Mark Strong, I think he's a brilliant actor, but he had to have given us one of the most boring and dull villains in any comic book movie. What was his name? Dr. Savini, Dr. Satine, Sereno, I don't know. I remember he had like the 7 deadly sins with him and stuff like that. So their design was pretty cool. But now we have Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as the villains. I really don't know if you can go any bigger or better than that. So again, we've only had one trailer so far, but with my enjoyment of the first one, and this trailer admittedly did impress me enough to include it on this list. Number 7, Black Adam. For me personally, I really do think that it's Dwayne Johnson's enthusiasm and excitement for this project. He's been trying to get this going for years. This has got to be probably the role that he has wanted the most in his entire life, because he has been talking about this for a very long time. I was a bit skeptical because DC is kind of in a rocky place right now, but as soon as that first trailer dropped, just like many of the other movies on this list, it washed away any doubts, because it looks different. I know that people say that like, oh, all superhero movies are the same and blah blah blah, and to a certain degree you are right in certain instances, but I don't feel like that's the case with Black Adam. It's kind of giving me Aquaman vibes, where you know that it's set in a certain universe, but it does enough to make it stand out from the rest. Like Aquaman was set in Atlantis, and we had all of these crazy cool suits and different fighting styles and things like that. It did a lot. It gave us a whole new world to explore that felt super different from anything else in the DCEU. Black Adam looks to be doing the same. It's introducing us to a bunch of new heroes, a bunch of new villains that we haven't had in this universe at all yet, and if you look at the different things that we see in the trailer, like the different outfits of the villains, and the different like flying motorcycles, and like crazy jets and missiles and things like that, all of this different tech, and it really does help it to make it feel a little bit more unique and to stand out from the crowd when it comes to the DCEU as a whole. The action looks great. The Rock, look, I am still all on board the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson train, okay? I think this dude is charming, I think he is charismatic, and he is always, above all else, super entertaining. The rest of the cast looks amazing. I can't wait for Hawkman, I can't wait for Dr. Fate, I can't wait for the Atom. All of it looks super intriguing, and overall it really does just look like an explosive, big, mindless, fun action superhero movie, and I can't wait for it. Number 6. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Look, we know basically nothing aside from the cast for this one. We don't even have a trailer yet. Do we even have any stills? I don't even know at this point, but the movie's only a short few months out. I'm pretty sure it's coming out in like November, and we have virtually nothing, and I'm still this excited for it. If we had a trailer, it would probably be up even higher. But for me personally, in Rian Johnson we trust. The first Knives Out, I think, was in my top 3 for that year of its release. We have Daniel Craig coming back as Benoit Blanc once again, and we have another incredibly stacked cast. There is just a massive display of talent on showcase in this sequel, so without a trailer, I'm excited enough as is. Number 5. Halloween Ends. Yup, somehow they did it. The crazy bastards still somehow have me excited for another Halloween movie. Look, I have no shame in admitting at all that I love Halloween 2018, probably just as much, if not in some cases, more than the original. I think it's an awesome slasher, horror, scary Halloween movie. I enjoy it so very much. And Halloween Kills was also on my most anticipated list for the year that it came out, and my anticipation was very high for that one, considering what a big fan I was of 2018. And turns out I was massively disappointed in Halloween Kills. I think it was alright, it delivers on the kills like its title suggests, but everything else was incredibly lackluster in my opinion, and I think it even ended up on my most disappointing movies of the year list. Nevertheless, I just enjoyed Halloween 2018 so much, and it's the exact same team coming back, and I feel like they learned their lesson from Halloween Kills, and I am hoping that they are able to recapture that magic of Halloween 2018 and deliver us another phenomenal Michael Myers movie. Not to mention, this is supposed to be the end of this new trilogy. I'll believe it when I see it, because if it makes a bunch of money, well, you know how these things go. But if this truly is the end of Michael and Laurie's story, if this is the last time we're going to see Jamie Lee Curtis, if this is the last time that we're going to see this version of Michael Myers in this timeline before the inevitable next remake or reboot down the line, then please, I am begging you, please deliver on this one. Number 4, Don't Worry, Darling. For this one, it really is the trailer that has me all in. I'm pretty sure that I did include it on my most anticipated list for the year at the beginning of the year, but back then we only really had just like a really bland poster. I think it was just like a black poster that had "Don't Worry, Darling" written on it. But look, Olivia Wilde to me has already proved herself as a director with Booksmart. Then you throw in this cast. We have Florence Pugh, we have her herself, Olivia Wilde, we have Gemma Chan, we have Chris Pine, Harry Styles, and a bunch more. This is a very stacked cast. And then we got the trailer in it just, no, I don't want to say blew my mind, but it did blow my mind a little bit. It just looks so much more interesting and so much more intriguing than I thought it was going to. It's throwing all sorts of weird twists and turns and reveals at you in the trailer. It's deceiving us so much and manipulating our minds, making us think one thing, and then it's going to do something completely different. I just know it. It looks like a mind-melting, trippy, bending, twisting, crazy tale, and I cannot friggin' wait to see what happens and if it does deliver. Number 3, Bullet Train. This one was also on my most anticipated list for this entire year, and now it is Tuesday as I'm recording this, and I'm going to be seeing it this Thursday, so it's very, very close. I was debating if I should even include it on this list, but I am hoping to get the video out today, so I figured, why not? And just like Don't Worry Darling, my excitement has only grown for this one. Back when I included this on my most anticipated list at the beginning of the year, we only had the cast list and like one still from the set. That's about it. Now we're 2 days out from release, and I don't think I could be any more hyped. Once again, talking about stacked casts, here you go. You got Brad Pitt, you got Karen Fukuhara, you've got Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, Logan Lerman, Michael Shannon, Hiroyuki Sanada, Sandra Bullock, Joey King. It really is the definition of a stacked cast. I know I've said that a lot, but look, it seems like the second half of this year, directors are just stacking their casts, and that's just the way it's gonna be, okay? But this movie just looks like so much damn fun, and I am a huge fan of director David Leitch, who co-directed the original John Wick movie, and then went on to also direct Deadpool 2 and Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. The trailer is just full of all sorts of energy that I absolutely dig. I am vibing with the tone of this movie. It looks funny, it looks violent, again, going back to that just massively awesome cast. It's got a bunch of style, it's got so much swagger, it just looks like it really has its own tone and its own unique identity, and I feel like we need more action movies like this nowadays, and I'm hoping, just like he has every other time, David Leitch, along with this cast, can deliver once again. Number 2. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Yet another movie on this list that I was a bit skeptical about, and then we got the trailer. I don't even know, this might have ended up as an honorable mention on my most anticipated list at the beginning of the year. I was very skeptical after the passing of Chadwick Boseman to hear that they weren't going to be recasting and that they were still going forward with the movie and all this stuff. It just kind of seemed like a jumble mess, and on top of that, it was plagued by issues. But then we got that first trailer at San Diego Comic-Con, and that was it. Immediately, I fell head over heels. I am in love with this trailer. I have watched it many, many times, and I have no doubt at all that Ryan Coogler, like he always does, is going to deliver once again. This movie is going to be an emotional roller coaster. I just know it. It looks stunning. It looks beautiful. It looks like they really are going all in on what they promised, and that is that they made this movie for Chadwick. They dedicated to him, and they are making it in honor of him, and I fully believe them, because this looks to be just one of those movies that is really going to stick with you, even though it is just another superhero movie. Number 1. Avatar: The Way of Water. Look, you can call me a sucker all you want, but like I said for many of the other directors on this list, because that is a big theme of this list apparently, I just trust, okay? In James Cameron, I trust. He has been a huge inspiration to me my entire life, being a Canadian filmmaker with multiple of his movies being in the highest grossing of all time. I have still been excited for this movie, no matter how many times it's been delayed. It was originally supposed to come out in 2015, then 17, 19, now here we are in 2022, and it seems like we are actually going to get it, but no matter how many times it got delayed, no matter how much further back from the original it got pushed, I have still been excited. I love the first Avatar, I get it. It is just what Fern Gully or Dances with Wolves with blue people in space and stuff. I don't care, okay? There's barely any originality left in Hollywood as is. I love the first Avatar. I love James Cameron as a director. This movie seems like it's really going to set the bar higher than ever before when it comes to visual effects. There are people online arguing on if shots are real or if they are CGI, and if you watch the CGI artists react, pretty much everything in this movie is CGI, and it just looks that real, it looks that lifelike. We don't know much about the story because we've only had one very, very brief teaser, just basically a showcase, showing off the visual effects, showing off the world of Pandora, showing off our characters, and then a bit of dialogue, so we don't even know what the story is, and I could not possibly be more excited. Whether you like it or not, Avatar, this is going to be an event film, okay? The first one came out in 2009. It has been 13 years, and it is the highest grossing movie of all time, so you bet your ass that this movie is going to make at least $1 billion, if not $2 billion, okay? This is going to be an event. People are going to be going to the theater in droves. There are going to be flocks of millions of people going to see this movie, and I am going to be among them opening night. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my top 10 picks. While you're at it, feel free to let me know what your top 10 most anticipated movies are for the rest of 2022. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.